Welcome to our 2021 Pets Memorial and Dharma Family Service. We'd like to begin this special service by reading the names of the pets that we are honoring today. First, I'd like to read the names of the pets whose names were submitted this year. Bruno, Bigby, Holly, Kona, JT, Murphy, Kiku, Rajabelle, and Harry. Next, we'd like to read the names of pets we've recognized in past years. Yuki, Pancho, Canyon, and Kyla, Change and Aang, Sadie, Sapphire, and Luna, Hana and Mr. D, Lola and Tweety, Buttons, Yuki, Hana, and Hime, Kalani and Sadie, Laura, Heidi, Rosie, Scooter, and Chuck, Zoe, Smokey and Baby, Ashley and Muffy, Molly, Lulu, Buffy and Twinkle Buffin, Adrian the Fish, Baby, Toby, Yuki-chan, Sunshine, Kitty, Dorothy, Susie Q, Uno, Dos, Tres, Cuatro, and Cat, Russian, Sam, Ralph, Stosh, Mike, Spike, Kitten, and Squeaker, Sachi, She-Dog, Carlotta, Mohawk, Koro, Pooh, Kuma, JJ, Snoopy, Prince, and Maymay, Poki-chan, Prince Chemo 7 and Princess Taiko, Dylan T, Gil, Kayla, Snow White, Googles, and Digby, Coco, Komori Kitty, Sandy, Bernie, Shelty, Corbu, Ella, and Sunny D, Buddy and Gizmo, Fishy and Quincy, Pepper, Seth, Tabi, Mocha, Vicky and Kuma, Mika, Goldie, Kiwi, Fishy, and Milo, Sweetie Girl and Gizmo, Kino, Coco, Chibi and Vegas, Mac and Kitty Kitty, Cisco, Shadow, Coco, KG Usagi, Juba, Mary Jane, and Sarah, Pippin, Sunny, and Kona. Next, we'll have Sutra Chanting, and we will chant Juseige, and the words for the chanting will appear on the screen so that you can chant along. kai hichi egen, meshi kon moan, hei soku sho akudo, tsudatsu zen shumon, koso jo manzok, iyoro jippo, nichigatsu shujuki, tenko onpugen, ishu kai hozo, koseku dokuho, jōdai shuchu, seppo shishiku, kuyo isai butsu, gusoku shutoku hon, ganne shitsujo man, tokui sangai yo, nyobutsu mugechi, tsudatsu mi fusho, gangaku erik, toshi saisho son, shiganya koka, daisen o kando, kokusho tennin, touchin myoke. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandam, namandam, namandam. Next, let's recite the three treasures, and the words will appear on the screen. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandam, namandam, namandam. Welcome again to our Pets Memorial. We do this service once a year in conjunction with our Dharma Family Service. So, maybe that's one way we can think about the Pets Memorial is in terms of family. So we used to call our Sunday services the Family Dharma Service, or even just Family Service. And on the one hand, this family aspect is one of the strengths of Jodo Shinshu, of Shin Buddhism. It's not a solitary pursuit. It doesn't have to be something you do all on your own, right? Instead, we're here together as families, right? And we can have multiple generations all listening to the same talk, right? All sitting together or splitting up and visiting your friends and your age groups or whatever, right? But we're all here at the same time, right? And so we can have everybody from babies to centenarians here at a typical service when it's not pandemic, right? But, the flip side of that is that a lot of our BCA temples, and Buddhist Church of Oakland certainly is one of these, some of the families have been here for generations, over 100 years. BCO is actually one of the oldest BCA temples, the oldest ones here in the mainland U.S. And often the families are intermingled by marriage, but if you're not part of that, if your family hasn't gone here for generations, it can be a little intimidating, I know, to come in. I'm not related family-wise in that sense either. So a few years ago, several years ago, I suggested we change the name from Family Dharma Service to Dharma Family Service. Right? It's a subtle distinction. I hope you can hear it, right? Family Dharma Service sounds like it's a Dharma service for the family, which it is, but with, that difficulty too, possibly if you're not part of the family. But Dharma Family Service, right? It's still family service. It has, of course, that aspect. And that, and then Dharma service, right? It's a time to listen to the Dharma, reflect on ourselves, recite the sutras, say the Nembutsu. But, as much as it's for families, maybe we can also stretch our regular definition of family so that it's not just a bond of blood or marriage, but we're a Dharma family. Right? And in that sense, maybe Shakyamuni Buddha and Amida Buddha are our compassionate parents. And I didn't make that up. That's Shinran Shonin, right? The founder of our school says in a wasan, and he gets this idea from Shan Dao, who's one of the Chinese masters from 1,500 years ago, right? But anyway, listen. Shakyamuni and Amida are our father and our mother, full of love and compassion for us. Guiding us through various skillful means, they bring us to awaken the supreme Shinji. Right? And so here, Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, Amida Buddha, the cosmic Buddha of wisdom and compassion, who embraces us universally with his vow, are our father and our mother. Interesting thing too, Shinran says Shakyamuni is our father. He says in a note to this wasan, Shakyamuni is like our father, Amida is like our mother. So it's kind of neat. And also in Japanese, the term Oya just means parents. And sometimes they call Amida Buddha Oya-sama. Right? So it's kind of interesting. The genders kind of slide around, which is great. Right? But basically, we're a Dharma family. The Buddhas are our parents. Right? So that's another way that we can think about this Dharma family service. But another aspect of family is that this Dharma family isn't just people. It's not just human beings. And, I know we often feel, we say it, we think it, we feel it, that our pets are part of our family. And this idea is totally borne out in Buddhism, right? And so I'd like to share another quote that's attributed to Shinran in the Tani Sho. And Shinran is quoted as having said this: "All beings, without exception, have been our parents, our brothers and sisters in the course of countless lives in the many states of existence." So, I know a lot of people don't like the idea of reincarnation for whatever reason. I get it, I guess. But there's something here too, right? Pointing out that we're all related. I mean, we say we're all interconnected, we're all interrelated, but this Shinran is saying we have all been each other's parents. We've all been each other's brothers and sisters. Right? It's a really neat idea, I think, and a great idea, I feel, for now. Right? That, to me, it really resonates. Unfortunately, sometimes families don't get together, and that's the way it seems like it's going right now in some ways, huh? But what if we realize, no, we're family? Right? So, these deep connections, it's pointing to deep connections between all of us, not just connections by blood right? Not just connections that we see on the surface, but really, really deep reflections that I think are worth thinking about. So, for instance, my cat, Kismet, she's 21 years old. She can be really bossy. She does something we call the wild meow. I can't duplicate it. I'm going to try and share some video if I can get some, but it's been hard. Maybe I can share some audio. This is what it sounds like. Pretty intense, huh? She used to do it when we weren't in the room and she wants someone to come. But sometimes we're sitting at the kitchen table and she walks by and she looks at us. Then she walks over to the couch and starts doing that, right? So she's like, come sit with me, come sit with me. So it can be kind of annoying when you're in bed and you want to sleep a little bit longer and she's doing that out in the living room, right? But I want to go sit with her when I can, right? Sometimes I can't. I'm in a meeting or something, right? But really, I want to go sit with her. And so one way I look at it is that she's giving me an opportunity to care for her, right? And an opportunity to give her something she needs. She likes attention when she wants it, of course, right? She's a cat. But she really likes to have that attention. And I actually really like feeding her, changing her water bowl, right? Even cleaning her litter box, right? All these things I like doing because she likes it, she needs it, but it makes me feel good too, right? Now, sometimes our pets get sick. They pass away, as we know from the list that was read at the beginning of the service. And this, of course, can be painful, right? I think it's actually maybe one of the most difficult things we go through in life. There's another, Buddha teaches it's part of life. This is just part of life. Whether we like it or not, it's actually not about like or dislike, it's just reality. Right? And there's another quote that I like from Shinran, from a letter where he says, but the Tathagata, the Buddha, taught the truth of life's impermanence for us fully, so you must not be distressed by it. Shinran's time, life expectancy was pretty low, right? And so he's writing a letter to followers where many people had passed, and he says, that the Buddha taught the truth of life's impermanence, so we should not be distressed by it. But I think he knew we will be distressed by it. We are distressed by it, right? And like I said, it's one of the most difficult things we can go through, human or pet. Right? Is there another way to look at it, though? I actually like to think that our pets are more than just animals. Right? Animals are awesome, amazing, right? But I think we can also look at our pets as bodhisattvas. Right? They're here to teach us about life. And as I said before, they give us a chance to care for them. They bring us so much joy. But they also give us the opportunity to go through loss, sadness. And I know normally you'd be like, that's kind of weird. What do you mean it's a good thing to experience loss? But I think it's a really, really deep lesson that they're teaching us. Sometimes it's too deep. And there's definitely times I've lost a lot of pets in my life. And especially because, the past 10, 15 years since I've become a minister, I like to adopt senior pets because a lot of times people don't want to adopt them, right? But the problem with that is you lose them maybe that much more often, right? And sometimes I think about pets that I've lost and it's too much. And I just have to stop thinking about it. I can feel it coming on now, not even thinking specifically, right? And I can feel that sadness. And so there's times when I think it's okay to not think about that aspect. Ideally, think about the good times you had, right? Think about how much joy they brought to your life. And if sadness comes, I think it's better to feel that sadness and go through that sadness when you can, And ultimately, as little bodhisattvas or big bodhisattvas, depending on the size of the animal, right? I don't know if we have any horses on the list, for example, but some people, are around horses a lot, and so any of these animals, right? I think we can think of them as bodhisattvas. So in that sense, they want us to be happy and for us to live our lives to the fullest, right? To live our life throughout all the different aspects. So, basically, I think Buddha doesn't want us, or Buddha doesn't want us to get stuck in just looking at things in just one way. Right? Buddha wants us to realize there's more than one way to look at things. Appreciate the relationships that we have. See that the family bonds we normally think of aren't the only ones. That our pets might be little bodhisattvas, helping us through this journey of life, just as we help them. And ultimately, right, that we're all family. Right? That we're a Dharma family of oneness, united in the midst of our differences. Right? So that's something I hope we can awaken to. Right? I know there's a lot of difficulties in the world right now, but maybe if we can awaken to this reality, right, that we're not all these separate bands, separate tribes, competing with each other, right? But that we're all part of this family. We've all been in close relations with each other. So, with our pets on our minds, our deceased pets, our current pets, our relationships with our family, with friends, with community, with the world, why don't we put our hands together as we think about Shakyamuni Buddha, our father, Amida Buddha, our compassionate mother, and recite the name. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Next, for announcements, I'd like to turn it over to Hondo Lobley.
Cool. Hello, everyone. So coming up on Saturday, April 24th, is the Federation of Dharma School Teachers League 2021 conference. The keynote speaker, Piper Toyama, is the founding headmaster of Pacific Buddhist Academy, Honolulu, Hawaii, which is the first Shin Buddhist high school to open outside of Japan. And there'll be more information to come about that event. Also coming up, or rather, the 2021 BCA Youth Retreat event dates have been announced. So coming up on Saturday, April 24th, we have the middle school session featuring a special interview with Kathy Ang, who voiced the character Fei Fei in the Netflix animated movie Over the Moon. Also on July 12th to the 16th, we have the BYR, the BCA Youth Retreat. And on Saturday, November 6th, we have the BYR and Friends reunion event as well. So again, all these events can be found on the BCA website. So I encourage you all to check them out. And also coming up as a BCO event, we have on Saturday, May 15th from 2 to 4 p.m. our Life Enrichment program. And this time around, it will be featuring Chen Sing Han, the author of Be the Refuge, Raising the Voices of Asian American Buddhists. And she will be in conversation with Dr. Funi Su, Assistant Professor of American Studies in the Humanities Department at San Jose State University. And lastly, I'd like to share, well, before I move on, I just say that registration information for the Life Enrichment program can be found on our BCO website. So I encourage you all to check it out, and I hope to see you at the event. And lastly, now, I just wanted to share this event coming up on Tuesday, May 4th at 4 p.m. We have May We Gather, which I'll just read through the flyer here. May We Gather is a national Buddhist memorial ceremony for Asian American ancestors. May We Gather is the first national Buddhist memorial service in response to the anti-Asian violence. The ceremony will be live streamed from Higashi Honganji Temple in Los Angeles, which was vandalized earlier this year. The event will be freely broadcasted online and will bring together Asian American Buddhists and their allies to heal in community together. The Buddhist Church of Oakland is endorsing this event, as well as BCA, and Bishop Harada is also endorsing this event as an individual. I think it will be a truly historic event, and if you are interested, you can find more information about it at maywegather.org. dharmatop.org. And again, the event is on Tuesday, May 4th at 4 p.m. and it will be live streamed. And that's all I have today. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Hondo. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for our Pets Memorial and Dharma Family Service. We'd like to conclude the service, and then we'll have the Virtual Incense Offering. So why don't we recite the Nembutsu together? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda.